Hello guys, today I will show some issues with my Yanmar ZT 370 drive. It was purchased 8 years ago, installed 4 or 3 years ago. It has done about 400 hours and we have some issues. I had some water penetration, probably at this seal location, or maybe where those seals are. This is, let's say, a new bearing housing on the way to be assembled. Yeah, and today's issue is like a backlash of the gear. So we see like a problem. This shaft is moving, and because this shaft is moving, it is not certain how do we measure the backlash. This backlash of the lower gear set all is here. So if I take this shaft vertically up, okay, it's towards myself now. If I take it up, the backlash is huge, and if I compress it down, the backlash is minimum. Okay, so what other things we have? I just manufactured myself the tool. This is to press in the bearing. After the bearings are pressed in, this is being removed. This is exactly for inside bearing diameter, goes nicely in to trim it, and these are to press in the seals. So I can press in the first seal, it goes nicely in, yeah, in, out, junk. I remove one of the rings, and then press in the second seal, and the rings removed, I press the last ring. Okay, so this is the part how we install the seals. However, there is one interesting thing that Yanmar made modification between 350 and 370 drive, which is additional ring support for the needle bearing. Maybe they say this needle bearing may jump off, even it's seated on adhesive and it's seated really well, but whatever, that was the instruction. Yeah, so this spacer is moving free. So I need, and if I press this spacer in, it's not moving, so that's an interesting. Can you go out, please? Somehow. Yeah. Yeah. So we have a shim. And what else do we have here? Interesting. So who and what is holding the bearing? Does it has to be like that or not really? One shim, another shim, so we have so strangely and how this is being fixed in the place? I wonder. I really wonder. I have two shims, and this freely jumped off. Okay, and this is pressing the bearing, which is very clear. This is pressing the bearing, and yeah, does that mean that this is being pressed against what? It's being pressed against you know what, if I would turn upside down, the outer bearing ring would fall off. It wants to jump off right now. Yeah, it is that free. Are you kidding me? The bearing is sitting just that free. And I could inspect the surface of the bearing. Okay. You are not giving up easily, man. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, I'm checking the bearing surface, and I wish it could be slightly better. I can see some marks from the corrosion, like when the water got in and stayed over the winter. So rule number one, change the oil in autumn. You finish the navigation season, always change the bearing, the oil, sorry, because the bearings may suffer like that. You see the black spot here, here, and a little bit of here, and yeah, it's still in working condition. I mean, it's very smooth and everything, but you can see that the water has done some damage. Yeah, so I'm putting, not to lose anything, I'm putting back the outer bearing. I'm putting back two shims. We will wash it everything later on. We're pushing that. So if I understand that, this is resting against the upper gear part in this, let's say this surface, and this is depressing the bearing and actually making the shimming. So when this is being, so yeah, so this actually keeps the bearings somewhere, and I can see this is like a slightly sticking out. No, slightly sticking out. So this should keep it really tight. But should it be in the surface, like, and right now it is just a little bit. Can we measure it? Let's try to measure it. It's actually nothing. Yeah, well, this tool doesn't measure it, but it is a gap. I need the light under to show it correctly. 5/100 of a millimeter, more or less 5/100 of a millimeter. It's being pressed in. Okay, interesting. So we are done with that part, yeah? Okay, what do we do with it? We scrap it. Yeah, so what do I will use simply the prop nut to keep it in place. And we can use a very simple tool. We can use this kind of tool to take it out. The inner shaft, sorry, the outer shaft holding the inner shaft, and you can see it's sliding out very easily. Be careful, don't destroy the seals. So basically that's it. Okay, it's almost out. And carefully, yeah, this is it. The complete assembly. Okay. Yeah, let's put it in. So here is also a little bit of marks, the needle bearing. This needle bearing is sliding here. So we have surface a little bit also suffered from corrosion. And this, let me take a seat more comfortable. Also here, this surface has suffered the corrosion. I already painted white. This is against the corrosion, and this part was heavily damaged from the salty water, and you can see the marks that even I had an O-ring, the water was sliding, under, and was sliding under and maybe getting in to the drive, this location, because like here you can see like a very nice aluminum color and surface, and here something was getting into, yeah. And again, the instruction reads this surface needs to be under protection with adhesive. They call it liquid gasket plus the O-ring, and the factory assemble it without anything. Yeah. So long story short, if these bolts to keep lower and upper gear are slightly loose, if this is not being pressed down properly, we have a play, backlash, and everything goes towards a really wrong direction. Yeah. That's it.